Okay, welcome everybody to a new week in ESL 343 Advanced Pronunciation. And this time we're going to go into Chapter 7 in Well Said. So as you might be noticing, like I said in my lecture last week, we're going from the very simple sound all the way up into words and syllables and then now phrases. We're getting into larger pieces of discussion, larger pieces of what we call discourse, the way we speak. And so it's getting longer and longer. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at the rhythm of a language. And every language has its own rhythm. And you're going to do a little bit of a project this week. It's somewhat small, but we get to learn about your language for our little project this week. It's going to be super simple, but it's going to be very interesting because we're going to be able to listen to the beat of your language, the stress and the tone and the fluidness of your language, okay? Now, what would you think English is? As you, as a non-native speaker, would you say that the rhythm of English is, or would you say that the rhythm of English is, well, hard to say, but we believe that English is this pattern, the second pattern, where we have a lot of stress and we have a lot of ups and downs and stops and starts. But there are some languages that are more, the tonal languages and that have a lot of vowels tend to have more of an even, it's a very smooth sounding language. So we're going to take a look at how English sounds. So you can figure out what the rhythm is in your language, kind of like a song rhythm, and we're going to get into more of the rhythm in English. So let's take a look at the very first thing we're going to look at here. Okay, so something to think about, and let's move that over so you guys can see it. When we are irritated and determined, then sometimes we will say something and give the full equal stress to every word and every syllable. I have had enough, right? And I'm sure you have something very similar in your language, right? When you've had it, you're done, you're fed up. We tend to, in English, pronounce every single syllable, okay? This must be done by noon. All right, so you see that we stress every word and every syllable equally, and that could sound abrupt or even impolite or rude. It really depends on your message that you're trying to get out, okay? So we're going to have the first listening activity. I'm going to say some of these with you, and we're going to take a look at, if you're not listening carefully, what you intended to say might sound like something else. And this happens quite a bit. Now, some of you may have your CD open and you might be listening along. I'll be saying these with you, but you can go to CD2 track 30 if you want to look. Now, we're going to look at a word versus a phrase. And some of the words have stressed and unstressed syllable, and so do phrases and sentences, okay? So you're going to listen to the audio, or to me actually, and in each pair, the rhythm pattern of the word is repeated in the phrase. So engineer, we know that's stressed on the last because you learned that last week, right? Engineer, he can hear, okay? Engineer, he can hear. Quantity, talk to me. Yourself, the shelf. Convert, she's hurt. Presented, he sent it. Progressed, the best. Permit, learn it. Conclusion, the blue one. Okay? So if you did not hear the rhythm, you want to, well, you can't replay me. I guess you can. You can scroll me back, right? And then listen with your eyes closed. And that's kind of a good technique, so you're not being thrown off by the words or the spelling within the words. Sometimes you just want to hear the rhythm like you're listening to a song. So you should have heard that the rhythm was very, very similar. Rejected, he wrecked it. So we're going to learn those rules coming up pretty quickly, okay? Now we have another listening activity. Each phrase has a different number of syllables, but takes the same length of time to say. Okay, so let's hear that. Break ice, break the ice, breaking the ice. Wow, did you get that? I had more syllables, and yet to some of the words, okay, and I added a word or two, and yet the rhythm was the same because language has rhythm. Okay, break ice, break the ice, breaking the ice. Dun, 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 dun. But it's still on 2 strong beats. Okay, so you can listen to track 31 if you want to hear the speakers say that. It's perfectly fine. So let's go ahead and go to the next page and see what awaits us there. So we're just going to do some more. I'll make that bigger for you. I was afraid of that. Sometimes this gets a little weird. Okay, here we go. So we'll do it a couple of times, and maybe in the second time you can do it with me. Give way, give away, giving away, giving it away. Wow. Okay, can you do it? Give way, give away, giving it away, giving it away. Oh, I said that one twice. Whoops. Giving away, giving it away. There. Okay. And can you do the last one on your own? So, quick call, quick recall, quickly recall. Okay. So, you want to pause this and do that on your own or with the CD. That's great. The CD people are professional speakers, so maybe you'll enjoy listening to them. All right. Which syllables were longer and which syllables were stronger? So which were shorter and which were weaker? So you know that we obviously have some rules coming up about that, right? And we already did the 2 strong beats, okay? So say the stressed syllables on the beats and then fit the unstressed syllables between. So the way that you can see it in the written text is they capitalize each stressed syllable, right? So now we get, here is a article A. Notice that that's not capitalized, that's unstressed, okay? So that gets reduced. And then here we've got 2 syllables, and we're going to stress the first syllable, and then the ing is reduced. And then the article is reduced, and then way is stressed, okay? So notice that we're starting to reduce certain syllables and give the strength to other syllables. Okay, so as we look at poem 3, and this is going to be important because it's kind of fun to listen to. I actually have 3 or 4 nursery rhymes for you guys to listen to in English that will help you listen to these that are brought out in the book, and then later you're going to share a nursery rhyme with your culture, and that's going to be done in the discussion area later, but I'll give you more instructions. But I actually have this queued up. I can say it, but and then I will give you the nursery rhyme that goes to it, and this helps us teach our children the rhythm of our language, and that's why we do nursery rhymes. They're fun, it engages our children, and yet it gives them that kind of that stress and the tone and the emphasis that we do that makes English English, that makes Chinese Chinese, Spanish Spanish, Farsi Farsi, right? Okay. It's been a while since I've done this, so I'm going to try it, and then I'm actually going to, you can play track 33 if you'd like, but I'm going to bring the nursery rhyme up so you can kind of see what gets kids to learn this, all right? But academically, let's look at this. This is the house that, oh, let me start again. This is the house that Jack built. This is the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the rat that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the cat that killed the rat that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. Okay? Now, They're stressing Jack a lot here, okay, because it's about a house. It's about Jack, that he built this house, right? But then we have all of these other things coming into play. So what's stressed and what's not stressed? So hang on just a minute. I'm going to bring up the nursery rhyme for you, and you can listen to that. Okay, so be back in 1 minute. And here we go.
This is the house that Jack built. This is the house that Jack built. This is the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the house that Jack built. This is the rat that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the house that Jack built. This is the cat that killed the rat that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the house that Jack built. This is the dog that worried the cat that killed the rat that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built.
There's
This
many
is
more,
the
but we'll
house
go
that
one
Jack
more.
built.
Okay.
This is the cow
with the crumpled horn
that tossed the dog
that worried the cat
that killed the rat
that ate the malt
that lay in the house that Jack built.
So wow, you know, and that goes on for quite a while. And I remember as a child myself doing this and having this experience of the nursery rhymes. So that was quite, and then, you know, it's very catchy to a child. It might be annoying to an adult, but it's very catchy as a child. So with this exercise here, going back to your page in the book here, it's going to ask you, what do you hear as far as strong beats? This is the house. This is the house that Jack built. This is the malt. Okay, so the stress would be on this and malt, the beat. Okay, you hear all the words, but we speed up the unstressed syllables so we can make the next beat to get the strong word. And the strong words are our content words, and we're about to learn the rules on this, because when we're speaking quickly, sometimes we're excited in a hurry or there's an emergency. Sometimes we don't spend a lot of time. We can just get the content words out. Get hose. Come now. You know, sometimes we don't spend time with sentences. We will just use content words and none of the fluff words like the or on or of, like prepositions. And we will just get something out quickly. And those things that we get out are our content words. Okay? So see if you can do this exercise and see how it goes from there. Okay, so let's go to the next page and see what we need to know. So the next one is going to be another one of our famous nursery rhymes, Three Blind Mice. And I'm going to put the nursery rhymes in a link for you, and then you can listen to it and to get ideas about nursery rhymes in your culture. And I'm not a good singer, so I might just say this, but it's three blind mice, see how they run. They all ran after the farmer's wife. She cut off their tails with a carving knife. Have you ever seen such a sight in your life as three blind mice? Okay. And I will play that one for you, and it's, again, in song form. And you're going to see how many beats do you hear. Okay, three blind mice. See how they run. Okay, see how they run. Now the next one's going to be fun. And actually, I'm going to say on this beat, see how they run. Okay, so I don't know if you got that. They is a pronoun, and oftentimes we will reduce that pronoun, and we want to make sure that see and run get in there. And if you think about 2-year-old children as they're acquiring the language, a lot of times they're in these 2-word phrases, and children go bed, see cow, you know, and your children, if you have children, you've got to remember that in the language, and they cut through all the pronouns and all the prepositions, articles and things like that, and they get to those content words. And that's what we're looking at for strong beats. Okay, so let's, activity 4 is going to actually be in the assignments area in the class, and I'll have track 34 playing. Your job is to write in the words that are missing, And you'll find that those are the content words. If you look, what are the words that are not deleted? Is and it, like some of the be verb, and to and my and with. You notice those as prepositions. You notice those as articles, and maybe a be verb here and there that is the are helping verb. So you'll listen to that, and it asks you, can you guess what the dialogue is about? Well, it probably would be almost impossible without our content words, because we're left only with what we call our function words. They provide a function, like prepositions tell us, location, things like that. And so now, if you listen in part B, and they take out the function words and the prepositions and the articles, now if we put just our content words, possible change reservation, Los Angeles, Saturday, Sunday, yes. 2 seats, 9:30 flight, Sunday. What cost change ticket? Total cost change fee, $300. Want change reservation? Probably not, right? $300 is a lot of money. Okay, now notice that those are our content word, cost and change and ticket. Now you could figure out what this is all about without is, of, to, a, but you certainly couldn't figure out what the conversation is here if we have deleted our content words. So you'll have this exercise to do online in class, but it would be good for you to kind of see. Plus you'll get that stress, the beats, as you listen. It'll start to reinforce in your head. Okay, let's move on to our next page. It's going to ask you now to listen to the complete dialogue. Notice that the stressed are highlighted and the unstressed are the shaded parts. Okay? Is it possible to change my reservation to Los Angeles from Saturday to Sunday? Okay. Well, I'm going to have you go ahead and listen to this. You can go to track 36. And as you listen, really look at the stress, the highlighted, and the capitalized. Can you hear the stress? Can you hear the beats in the sentence? Listen to this 3 or 4 times because it will really help you by doing that. And then it says what kinds of words are strong and stressed and which words are weak and unstressed in the dialogue. Hint, the capitalized are strong and stressed, and the unstressed are all these little ones that are in the gray area, okay? Okay. Now, this is something that you can do if you want to. Listen to proficient English speakers on television. Pay attention to how they speak. Write your answers to these questions. Listen to rhythm patterns in a news broadcast. Do you hear the strong beats and the weak beats? You may have noticed, and it's probably with newscasters in your own culture, they don't speak just conversationally like I'm kind of speaking to you on my lecture here. Or if you called me on the phone and you and I are speaking about something, you and I would not sound like a news broadcast. But news broadcasters speak a very certain way. And which words do you hear that are weak and which words are stressed or unstressed? For example, are sounds like They're here. Okay. How important are the weak parts of the message for understanding? Well, the weak parts are not as important as the strong parts, because strong, again, is our content words. Then they want you to watch a few minutes of a TV drama or situation comedy, a sitcom, without sound. Notice body movements, especially their upper body movements, their arms, their heads, their eyes. Okay. And then turn the sound back on. What is the connection between upper body movement and the stress parts of the message? Does the body do anything? Do the hands do anything? Do the eyes do anything on a stressed part of a syllable of a word? And then we're not going to really have a discussion with this, but this is advanced pronunciation. If you're really trying to dig deeply into the English language, I know you've watched television to help you learn English, but now watch television to teach you the advanced components of English. Dissect it, take it apart, like a scientist, right? Okay, let's keep moving. Move that down just a little bit so I can make sure we have. Okay, good. So our next page here is we're actually going to get into the rules. So stressed and reduced words. So rule 7-1, stress important content word. The important content words that are really going to give you the most message, the most value for that word. So if you only have seconds to say something to someone before your boat sinks, you got to get that message, and that message can save your life. Which words would you choose? And how fast would you get it out there, right? Okay, so let's take it rule 7-1. We're going to stress the important content words. That gives us meaning right there, right off the bat, right? So that's the first thing that we're going to do. So let's take the words below and let's take a look at those. Here they are. Our nouns, like quiz, paint, our main verbs, attend, touch, adjectives, like long and careful, and adverbs, quite, really, right? And then negatives are always stressed, and when they're not stressed, it causes confusion. And I will tell you, in my house, a lot of times, if it's not stressed, then I end up saying, did you say we can or can't go to dinner? Or you can or can't help me? And we ask to have that repeated quite a bit, okay? So our negatives we stress, can't, not. Our WH words, what, how. And our interjections are expressions of emotion, usually like, wow, cool, yes. Okay, things like that. All right, so content words carry most of the information. It says, be careful not to sit on the wet paint. Be careful not to sit on the wet paint. So let's look at these as far as grammar is concerned. So be is a, it's a verb, but it's a be verb, and we're not really using it as our main verb. Okay, so we're going to say, be careful. So careful not sit wet paint. If we just took our content words, careful not sit wet paint, right? So we've stressed the care and careful, and we stress the negative not, and we stress the main verb sit, and we stress the adjective wet, and we stress the noun paint. Okay, so that goes within this 7-1. All right, let's look at rule 7-2. Reduce or weaken function words. So when we reduce it, we cut something, okay? When we make it weak, we don't say it as strong. And in fact, we might go to an of instead of. Okay, well, of or R to things like that. So we'll either reduce it or we will not say it as strongly. Okay, so articles, a and the, and things like these and those. Conjunctions, and, or, but, yet, so, for, any of those. Prepositions, to, of, in, on, under, over, those kinds of things. Pronouns, him, you, they, we, us. Auxiliary verbs, can, does, those kinds of things. He can go to the store. He can go to the store. So we'll reduce our auxiliary verbs, all right? So I'm going to say this whole sentence. So function words make the grammar correct, but they do not carry as much information as our content words. First, I'm just going to say this with the content word. Why drive big car? Why drive big car? Okay. You could understand everything I'm saying. It's a question mark, so I did have my tone rise. But it's also, my WH word is why. And then my main verb is drive. I reduce the helping verb. I reduce the pronoun. And I said drive and then such a, so an adverb, not in this case, and then the article, and then the adjective we stress, and the noun we stress. Okay? So we'll take a look at that. So as you can see that our function words, again, our helping verb or do support here, our pronoun, and here we have a determiner, such as tells us which one, and then another determiner, a, and those get reduced. So how do we reduce function words? Here are some ways. Contraction. So John is an old friend. So we'll go to John's, an old friend. John's. So instead of going the I sound to Z, is, we'll go Z. John's an old friend. John's. Okay? And can you, so with our helping verb here, our modal, essentially, and there's our modal, and there's our pronoun. We're going to put those two together and go, can you? Can you? Or can you? Can you see? Can you see? A lot of times we'll go, what are you looking at? See? But if I'm going to do the whole sentence, can you see? So we reduce that down, and notice the schwa, and we worked on that last week, is that sound. We reduce it to unstressed syllables. The vowel often goes to schwa. Okay? Unless maybe there's a secondary stress, but do that later. Okay, and then sometimes we'll, on omitted consonants, we'll just, instead of saying him, that voiceless sound, we'll just delete the consonant. We'll just delete H. Okay? Let 'em, So not only will we'll reduce the vowel I to the schwa, but we'll just get rid of that pronoun, or not the pronoun, but we'll just get rid of the first letter and just say okay? So let him go, not let him go, unless we're mad, right? We did that in the very first. Let him go. Right? Let him go. So again, it depends on what we're trying to convey in meaning as we get across to the people that we're speaking to. All right. So those are the 2 rules this week, and the rest of the chapter is actually practice, everybody. So I highly recommend that you do that. We're going to do a little bit more. So what you want to do is with a partner, you work out, and of course partners we don't really have online because we don't do things synchronously. So you're going to work out the rhythm of each sentence. So for you alone, or you can work with someone in your own household, you're going to circle the content words or the stressed syllables of the content words. So it's kind of nice if you have someone on the track. Okay, so track 37, someone will say it, okay? Say each sentence. Write the number of strong beats you hear, okay? I can't understand a thing. I can't understand a thing. Okay, so you see 3. So in here, this is where the stress fell. So that student B heard 3. So as you listen to the tape, see how many of the strong stresses that you hear, okay? The stressed content words, that's what we're looking at. Make sure it's the stressed content words. And see how many you have recorded on the bottom here. Okay, that will be something I leave to you to work out, and it may be an assignment that I actually put on in the assignment area. I haven't made up my mind yet, but you'll see it in the week, it's at week 9, in the week 9 activities if I decide to do it. But it's definitely something you should do. And we'll take a look at exercise 2. And they're going to take 3 blind mice, and I will put a link to that children's rhyme, and you can hear the rhythm, and then they want you to kind of repeat it with any kind of sentence that follows that pattern. So here we go. 3 blind mice, please sit down. Come back soon. 1 can't go. Don't get lost. So, okay. Now they're going to take a see how they run. That's part of the musical part of that. See how they run. Okay. Lee went by bus. John found the desk. Tell Lynn I called. That meal was great. Okay, so it's almost like they're trying to teach you English as a rhythm, so any sentence that's thrown at you, you can almost put it into a rhythm like that. So again, listen to the track and work along with it, okay? Work along with it. So let's take a look at the next page. You just got a couple more to go. We're only doing half the chapter on this week. The rest is actually going to be a lot more practice, but I will lecture on that, so stay tuned to that. But I'll lecture on the second half next week. And now here's another one, Hickory Dickory Dock. It's another child's rhyme. The mouse ran up the clock struck 1, whatever, I can't remember it now, but Hickory Dickory Dock. So, Hickory Dickory Dock. Everyone's welcome to come. Jan is the person to call. Fix her a burger with cheese. Okay, now who needs to practice? The teacher. I got to do that again, okay? Everyone's welcome to come. Jan is the person to call. Fix her a burger with cheese. Okay, got it. Whew. Guess I should have read it first, yeah? And then you can keep going. The mouse ran up the clock. I need to get some cash. He wants to buy a car. I'll have her call you back. Okay? So, you know, if I struggle a little with it, you might need to work it out a little bit too. And then we have another children's rhyme, nursery rhyme that I'll be sending you is Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. You may have heard it before. It does have a song to it, but I don't sing well, so that's why I really avoid doing this on a video. So I do like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. That's it. That's all you get. So Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Let me help you pay the fee. Don't forget the eggs and milk. Tell me why you don't agree. Okay? So you can start seeing the magic, the music of this. How I wonder what you are. Don't forget to leave a tip. Thanks a lot for all you did. Find a space and park your car. Okay, tough stuff, everybody. No doubt about it. Tough stuff. But play the YouTube videos I have. It might even help you better. Okay, I have a feeling in this last one that all of you know The Wizard of Oz. It's pretty popular worldwide. Old movie, but very popular. And there's Dorothy and the Tin Man and the Scarecrow. And there's a very, very famous part in that particular movie when they're walking through the forest and they're afraid. Okay? So they're going to show you this kind of 1, 2, 3, 4. The 1 stands for lions and. So lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Okay, so beat number 1 is on lions and. Beat number 2 is tigers and. Beat 3 is bears. And beat 4 is oh my. Oh my, right? You probably remember lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Right? So I have a little clip for you to watch too. If you've never seen The Wizard of Oz, then you might want to check that out. It's an oldie but a goodie. And I also have a link to this part, just this clip on YouTube. Okay? Last page here, everybody. Hang in there with me. So we can throw any kind of sentence that follows this stress pattern. Okay? So it's the lions and tigers and bears, oh my. Elephants and cobras and crocodiles, oh my. That one was higher. Elephants and cobras and crocodiles, oh my. Elephants and cobras and crocodiles, oh my. That crocodiles was hard to get out. Crocodiles. Okay. Now try these lists. Keep the same beat regardless of the numbers of syllables. Let's try it. Okay. So schedules and computers and homework, oh my. Springtime and vacations and chocolate, oh my. Okay. So now you decide, and down here you can try to see if you can figure out anything else that you can add in these. Miseries, the things that you don't like. husbands and bill collectors and taxes. Oh my. Okay. No, husbands are cool. They're cool. They're cool. Okay. Last one here. Just a helpful hint. It just tells you about when you change your pronunciation in any language. Try to be animated when you talk, okay? It's like a jacket, they say, you're putting on, and the facial expressions and the hand gestures and the body. And I know that when we speak a second language, we get timid and a little shy, and our voice goes low because we're afraid our pronunciation's not that right. And what I want you to do is to continue to be bold. Your advanced pronunciation class, you notice that I mess up my pronunciation a lot, actually, and I'm a native speaker. So it's going to happen, so no one's going to give you a hard time. So put it on, imitate somebody's pronunciation, sometimes maybe the way they speak, the way their mouth movements, things like that, and just for fun. Okay, and the most important thing to remember that is even though you have accented speech, you could be very clear in your pronunciation. And here's something, again, I'll tell students that I hope you don't lose your accent, because your accent is charming, and I love that. I love the French accent or the Farsi accent. I love accents, the Spanish. I love them all. As long as you can speak clearly and everyone understands you perfectly, you don't have to be native sounding. You can keep part of yourself from where you're from. But if your goal is to be 100% native sounding, that's up to you. Okay, everybody, that is for the week this week, and have a good one. Practice this chapter quite a bit, everybody, and I will then tell you what you need to do for your assignment. That's going to be in a separate video, so this one's over. Have a great week. I'll see you online.